Hi everybody, Mindy here from mindyos.com. As you know, or might not know, I've been trading Forex full-time for over 20 years now, and I keep a website where I like to give people tips and tricks in the Forex market on, how to make better trades and how not to get scammed, how to watch out for brokers who might break bad, things like that, keep you up to date on regulations. And also I like to kind of tell you how not to get scammed, okay? And with Forex, it's kind of a hard thing to do because people put stuff out there and it sounds so great and it's not. So anyway, I wanted to bring your attention to something that somebody brought my attention to about 3 weeks ago. Now, I never go out to YouTube or the internet or anything and look up what other people are doing with their trading, mostly because I have a strategy that I developed that has worked really quite well over the last 20 years. The last year has been more difficult for my strategy, but the market conditions are always changing, and so it's not unusual for a particular strategy to do better in different market conditions and worse at other times. But that's just life in Forex. But one of my students brought this to my attention, and they said, "Oh, Mindy, you need to check this out." So anyway, I did. I went to YouTube, I Googled live Forex trading, and my friend led me to this particular live feed, is what it is. And this company, or this person, whoever it is, that goes by the name Expert Advisor Forex, EA, started this live feed on January 15th. And he says in his write-up about it that it's a unique strategy that he developed, that he's been trading Forex for 8.5 years. And he openly invites everybody to, watch this account for as long as they like. So I started watching it, and honestly, it was really kind of impressive. I've got some screenshots here. Here's one from February 1st, and here's one from February 3rd, and here's one from February 5th, and these are just an example. But what I want to show you about it is that both the account balance and the equity balance has gone up every couple of days or so in a fairly reliable way. And now I've been watching this account for about 3.5 weeks, okay? And over that time, there have been a few days when the equity balance did drop down a little bit, but that's also to be expected, because in Forex, your account is going to go up and down. But what we can see here is that, there's a fairly reliable increase in both balance and equity balance every day. So anyway, I started trying to analyze the strategy that was being used. And here's what I did figure out about the strategy being used. It's a strategy that is relying on hedging, and I'm a proponent of hedging. I use hedging in my strategy. I think it's very important to protect your account from trades that go ugly, right? Now, you can't use hedging in some jurisdictions, including the United States, which is why I do all my trading with foreign brokers that will allow hedging and don't have FIFO rules and stuff like that. But anyway, what this strategy is doing is that it's keeping one buy trade and one sell trade in each of the pairs that are being traded all the time. Okay, so as soon as a profitable trade closes, or sometimes a negative trade, but as soon as one half of the hedge closes, immediately another trade the same direction and the same size is being added. So at all times, what they're doing is they're keeping both a buy trade and a sell trade in all of the pairs that are being traded. Okay, and then he's manipulating when and where the trades come in and out. So I have noticed that some trades do close for losses. Most of the trades close for profits. The profit column, okay, the P&L column, has most of the time maintained a positive value, which is pretty unusual, actually. And that's what led me to really kind of perk up and pay attention to this. Not at all times has the PL column been positive. There have been several different times as I've been following this account where the PL column has gone negative, but temporarily and stuff. One thing that I liked about the EA, which he's using, and EA, as you know, is a Forex robot. It's an automatic trading program that essentially is programmed to decide when to put trades in and when to take them out, right? But on the EA that he's using, one of the things that I liked was that right over here where it says Expert Advisor Forex Trading EA, when the profit column goes into the negative, these words right here turn bright red instead of green. And when the profit column is a positive number, these words are green. So that is actually kind of a cool feature, right? Because let's say that you're working in your kitchen and you have, your computer set up across the room. You don't have to pay a lot of attention, but this is big enough that if you noticed these words going red, you could come over and look at it and see why the profit total down here had gone negative. Okay, kind of cool, really. And so a week ago Friday, what is today? Today is Sunday, the 14th of February, okay? And a week ago Friday, after communicating with this company for several days, both via email and on Skype, I purchased this EA. Now, when I purchased it, before I purchased it, what I asked him, and he made clear, both in the literature that he sent me about the EA, was that I would get exactly the same trades that are being made in his account. And because he said the EA is trading off of price action and trend moves, okay, and I'm assuming that's being done off short-term charts because he also specifies to put the EA on 5-minute time frame charts, which is a really short time frame of a chart, but whatever. But what I was expecting to get was an EA that would essentially duplicate the trades that he is getting, because that's what he said would happen, right? And I was expecting to see an EA that would look like this, that would have this these analytics going on, that would have these words that go from red to green dependent on if the profit column was positive or negative. And so anyway, I was expecting to get what you see here, right, when I bought his program. I also asked him if they keep their Skype conversation going 24/7 in case somebody runs into a problem with the EA. and they assured me more than one time that yes, they have 24/7 help through their Skype conversation. And so I thought, well, okay, we'll take a gamble on this, okay? So anyway, when you order this, let me back up a little bit. When you come down through the information that they list on here, it actually talks about how to set up the EA, and it says quite specifically which pairs the EA will work on. Okay, and it's not all Forex currency pairs, but they give you a list of 8 or 10 here. It says that the drawdown is totally minimized by essentially the hedging algorithm that's being used. I like that, right? They tell you that it will work in any market conditions. I asked them if the EA had ever had a month where it lost money, because they have some pretty outrageous claims about the profit potential in it. And he told me that no, it had never had a losing month. I asked him how long he'd been using it. He said 3.5 years. And so tried to do as much homework on this as I could before I made the decision to buy it. Okay, they also give very specific information in here on how to set it up, right? And they tell you the leverage and the margin and trade size that you should use depending on your account size. Now notice here he's recommending that you use 1 micro lot size trades for each $100 that you have in the account. Okay, but that's not how he's trading. What he's doing in here, I asked him how much he started with in his initial balance, and he said $1,200, and yet he's been using 1 lot trades for all of the trades in the account since the time he started trading it. Well, with $1,200 as an initial balance, according to what he is recommending that you should trade, then he would be trading 1 mini lot trades, not full lot size trades. Okay, so he's not trading in the way that he recommends that people trade, but his account is not been having any trouble as far as anything ugly happening. So what should we think? Should we use 1 lot trade sizes on a $1,000 or $1,200 balance, or should we be using 1 mini lot trade sizes, which is what he actually recommends? So, there was a lot of conflicts like that, inconsistencies, I guess, between what he tells you when he sends you literature and what he's saying, here. And so anyway, that was kind of weird, but whatever. So anyway, this is what I was expecting. I also fully expected that when I plugged it into a trading account that I would receive essentially the exact same trades that he's getting. Because if the EA is measuring price action and trend moves and stuff, the price movement on pairs isn't going to be significantly different from one broker to the next. So whatever indicators the EA is reading on his broker, it's not going to be that much different on any broker. So theoretically, the trades that I would receive should be maybe not identical to his, but they should be pretty close, pretty much the same, right? Well, let me show you what I actually got when I purchased this EA. So here's the account that I set this up on, and it was just a little demo account that I had, because what I wanted to do before I put it on a live trading account is I wanted to watch it for a few days and see that it was actually making the same trades that I was expecting to get. It didn't, at all. Okay, you can see this is not the same EA. Okay, this, let me show you again. This is what I expected to see on my screen, right? This is what I got, not the same thing. Notice the lettering here in these words is completely different than what we see here. And if that was programmed into the EA, then, you know, the font is probably going to also be programmed into the EA. But here's the thing. Remember that I told you that when watching his account, if the profit column goes negative, these words change from green to bright red. Well, in the EA that he sent me, these words have never changed off of this green color. I have a negative profit and loss total. So theoretically, if he sent me the same EA that he's using, this should be red right now, right? Now, the other thing, I'm just going to show you the EA that he sent me. I'm going to go to the properties, the expert advisor properties, and this is what I got. This is what the EA looks like when you're setting it up. Okay? I don't believe for 1 minute that this EA is doing the trading for his account that he is using. Okay? For one thing, he said that when he sends you the EA that it is protected by registration. So it's either going to be registered to your specific MetaTrader account number or to your name. And he explains that in the instructions that he gives you. But when we go to the About column here, there's nothing listed in the About column for an expiration date or any kind of registration. And so I don't believe that what he sent me is an EA that has any kind of registration or expiration date involved in it at all. Okay? And when you go to the inputs, what it says here is it gives you the chance to change the lot size, which I didn't do. I left it at 1 microlot because I was using a really tiny account. Okay? But see where it says take profit at 15. That means that any trade that opens, it's going to close that trade for a 15 pip profit. And when it does that, then it's automatically opening another trade. So that there might be other programming within here, but if there is, I haven't seen it because I've been running his EA for a week and a day now, and every single trade in my account that has closed for about 15 pips, give or take a little bit for commissions and swaps and a little bit of slippage. Okay, but you can see that without exception, every trade that has closed since I've been using his EA has closed for essentially about 15 pips. That's not the way his account is trading, okay? And not at all, because his account has been closing some trades for a few pips negative, a lot of pips negative, a few pips positive, a lot of pips positive. No, there's absolutely nothing going on in this account that has a hard and fast decision to close a trade at 15 pips. Okay, it's not, what he sent me is not what he is using. Now, also, he said that his trades and my trades should essentially be the same. Remember, he said that I would get exactly the same results and the same trades that are showing up in his account. So, the thing is, he never shows the account history. Never. He leaves this live feed on the open positions at all times, right? So, what I did is I literally videotaped this account running on this live feed for the entire week last week. The entire week, right? Every minute of that time. And so what I did is I went in to the video that I had made and scrolled through it, and every single time that I saw a new trade open, I logged that trade on a charting program that I have. Okay, so I know exactly where every trade opened. And that also tells me, because I've watched it, where every trade closed. And let me show you an example of that. So here is all of the trades that were made in the pair GBP USD last week. Now let me explain what I did here. I have put in his sell trades as red arrows, his buy trades as blue arrows, and then I put in, to see how different our trades were, I used green arrows for buy trades in my account and orange arrows for sell trades in my account. Okay, so I have a record of every single trade that went in to this account over the course of last week. I brought this down. What you were looking at a minute ago was the 1 hour chart, just so I could show you the whole thing on one screen. But let me explain what's happening here. So when we get over here to where there's a bunch of trades. Okay, so what's going on here is that in the account that he is trading, every time a trade closes, it opens another trade of the same direction. Okay, so what's happening is, let me try to find two that are in the same ballpark. Okay, so he had this buy trade right here, okay, and then, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Get back to where we were. Okay, he had a buy trade right here, okay. The next buy trade that opened in GBP USD opened down here. So when this buy trade opened, this buy trade closed. Well, what that means is that this trade right here closed for a loss, okay? And it closed for a loss of, let's see, from 38.10 down to 37.94, about 16 pips negative. Okay, so he took a 16 pip about negative on that, and then the next buy trade that we find doesn't happen till we get way over here. Okay, this buy trade opened at 137.87. Now remember, this trade closed, it went in at 137.94. So this trade also closed for a loss. Okay, then let's go to find the next buy trade. Now after this buy trade entered, now we'd had two buy losses in a row, the next buy trade that entered right here. So when this buy trade entered, this one closed. Now this buy trade actually made a pretty nice profit, because this trade that had gone in at 137.87 closed at 137.94. 138.39. Okay, so that's about a 50 pip profit or so. Okay, so that's what's happening with his trades. Now, the same thing you see with his sell trades. This sell trade, which entered at 138.08, closed here at 138.20. So that trade closed for about a 12 pip loss, right? Then this sell trade closed here. So if this was at 138.20 and the next one opened at 138.44, this trade closed for about a 25 pip loss. Then we had another sell trade go in right here at 138.48, which closed this sell trade for a loss of about 4 pips. But anyway, every time a new trade goes in, an old trade comes out. But you can see here, let's just go to Friday. So this would have been the end of the trading week. Now remember, I've plotted not just his trades, but my trades also, right? So his trades are red and blue arrows, mine are green and orange. So as we scroll backwards through this pair, what we're going to see is that he's getting an awful lot of trades that I'm not getting. Now, a lot of those trades are closing for a negative, so I have to say kind of good about that, but not really, because the strategy that he's using to close both positive and negative trades is working for him. If you look at the amount of profit the account has accrued in the last month, from January 15th to today is February 15th. But you can see that, you know, for days and days here, I haven't been getting any trades at all, and I'll show you why in a minute. But there have been multiple trades that have gone in and out of his account. This is going slow because it's on a 1 minute chart. I should probably back it up and make it a little bit bigger chart, and it'll move faster. Why don't we do that? Let's go ahead and pull it up to a 15-minute chart. That'll do it. Let's see. Okay, look at all the trades here that he's getting during a time when I didn't get any trades at all, right? Now, let me show you why my account isn't getting any trades. What I'm going to do is I started... This right here was a week ago Friday. This is when I bought his EA and plugged it in. Right here. Okay? Now, the thing is, I told you that I could tell that the EA that he sent me had a 15 pip profit target attached to every trade, right? So just to prove to you that I'm not lying to you, what I'm going to do here is on this chart, I'm going to go draw a box, and I'm going to make this box 15 pips tall. Okay, so 15 pips would be from 13700, whoops, to 137.15. That's 15 pips, right? And then I'm going to make this box a color that we can kind of see better. So let's do it that color. Okay, so now we know that this box that I built is 15 pips tall, right? Now, the thing is, here, what I'm going to do is bring this over, and I'm going to make this part of the chart a little bigger. These, when you first put on a ZA, what it does is it immediately places both a buy and a sell trade in the pair that you just installed. Okay, so those are the two original trades that I had in this account. So when I take my 15 pip box and I go from the original sell trade, right, to the second sell trade that I got in the account, we can see that it's pretty close to 15 pips. Okay, now when we go from the second sell trade, which is right here, to the third sell trade, see it is behind his blue arrow, but there's a little orange arrow there, another 15 pips. When we go from that sell trade right under here to this sell trade, again 15 pips. So what's happening is, as the price moved down, prices in Forex move up and down while they're moving up or while they're moving down, but as the price moved down, every 15 pips, essentially I got another trade. Now that also happened as the price moved up. Okay, so if we go from the original buy trade that I had in the account, the next buy trade that we find with the green arrow is right there at 15 pips. When we go from that second green arrow right here to this green arrow, again 15 pips. From this green arrow trade to this green arrow trade, again 15 pips. So that's what's happening, and you can see that in the account that I'm trading using the EA that he sent to me, that is what I'm getting consistently. Every trade is closing for 15 pips and putting another trade in at whatever level that is. Well, the thing is, the way that's working out in my account is that I'm closing these trades, but my account is not gaining any positive momentum at all. See, I haven't had a trade in this pair for days, and the reason is because for me to get another trade in the GBP USD pair, the price either has to go to a high that's 15 pips above this high, or the price will have to fall down to 15 pips below this low. That's the only way I'm going to get another trade out of this pair. Okay, and since I have one sell trade and one buy trade in the account, what that means is that I'm offset. I'm not making money no matter which direction the Forex market goes. Okay, so, and I'll show you that. So this is an account history of all of the time since I turned on the EA. So we can see that, you know, it started making trades on the 5th of February, right? And the most recent trade that it closed happened on the 10th of February. And in this account, using micro lot trades, I have made $70.63 if you add up all of these trades. Well, the thing is, when we go to the account, the trades, the open positions, my P&L column is negative $85, right? So I've lost more money than I've made, to the tune of $15. That's not going to change. And the reason, when I first opened all of the trades in all of the accounts, you know, it opened a buy and a sell in every one of these pairs. My negative PL from the get-go was like negative, you know, $1.80 or something. Okay, so I've essentially accrued about $15 worth of negative PL in swap fees, commission fees, and slippage in the trades that have closed. Okay, so what I'm telling you is that what he sold me and what he sent me are not the same thing. And so I would like to let you guys know that, so that maybe it can prevent you from being scammed by this guy. Okay, now I want to show you also, this is just like I said, I'm going to put this back on the 1 hour chart for a minute, and show you how, just take a mental note, okay, what's happening in the account he gave me, where it's every 15 pips is doing a new trade, closing one, opening another, and same with the downside. But on his trades that he's getting, there are trades all over the place, okay? And let's go back to the short term again. We'll go back to the 15, we'll just go to the 15 minutes. But here's the thing, sometimes he'll have 2 or 3 buy trades or 2 or 3 sell trades in a row that will close, like right in through here. Let's really zoom in on this. He had this sell trade that closed here for a profit. Then a few minutes later he had a sell trade here which closed this trade for a loss, and then this trade closed for a loss, and then this trade closed for a loss, and then by the time he got back down to another sell trade, this sell trade made money. Okay, so the same with the buys. He had a buy here, this buy closed for a small profit here when this trade opened, this buy closed for a profit here, this buy trade closed for a small loss here, but this buy trade that opened here closed here for a profit. But his trades are all over the board. Okay, so he didn't send me the EA that he's using. That's quite obvious, right? We can, let me go back to the 1 hour chart again, just because it's easier for you to be able to see all of the trades that happened in one graphic. And then if we wanted to see specific times, then we could do it different. Okay, but some of the other pairs are USD JPY. So here are the trades for USD JPY for this past week. Again, you can see that here's where I started trading, right here, which was a week ago Friday, and I've gotten 1 buy trade during that time, and then sell trades I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 early in the week, right, as the price was making this trend move. And since this, nothing in this pair, which I won't get anything else unless the price moves lower than here or higher than here. Okay, so that's USD JPY. He's trading USD CAD. Here's where I started trading a week ago. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades in this trend move down with sell trades. I haven't had any buy trades. I still am holding the original buy trade that I put in, right? But he's had trades all over the place. Okay, so he's had a buy trade here. Now that buy trade, if we want to know if it made money or not, no, he had a buy trade here that closed here for a loss. The next buy trade was way down here, which also closed for a loss. But he had a sell trade right here that closed here for a nice profit. Another sell trade that closed for a nice profit. And now he's had 2 sell trades in a row in this pair that he's closed for losses. Okay, so that's USD CAD. He's trading in ZD USD. And not much trading going on in this particular pair at all. In fact, this past week, he hasn't made any trades in ZD USD. And whoops, didn't mean to make that big. If you want to see that, I can show it to you right here, because the most recent trade that he had in NZD USD is he has a buy trade that went in on February 3rd and a sell trade that went in on February 4th. Okay, so you can double check my work by just looking at his account. Okay, he's also trading GBP USD. Oh, I have already told you about that one. That was the one that had this real big rash of trades going in it. He's trading EUR USD, and in EUR USD, here's where I started trading, right here with my green and my yellow. It's right behind it, so you can't really see it. But in EUR USD, the only thing that I have had in that pair is buy trades, because the price never went down. I won't get a sell trade until the price goes 15 pips lower than here, right? And if we want to see that on my account, what we do is we bring over my account and we see that the sell trade for USD CAD that I have in my account, I mean EUR USD, is right here. It's the original sell trade that I put in on February 5th, which was right there. Okay, so you can double check all my work just by looking at his accounts. But so in this particular pair, since I started trading, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buy trades go in, all 15 pips apart from each other. I've had no sell trades go in. He's had all kinds of trades. Okay, he had a couple of sell trades here that closed for losses. He had this buy trade open from here, which was a nice profit, but this buy trade closed for a loss. Okay, then this buy trade came over to here and closed for a profit, but during that same time he had sell trades that closed for losses all over the place. He had one here that closed for a profit, but most of them all closed for losses. Okay, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the trade's close for profits or losses. What does matter is that at the end of the day or the end of the week, that you've increased your equity balance. That's what's important, and that's what he's doing. But the thing is, it's still a scam, because he's not sending you what he's using. He's sending you some bullshit EA that all it's doing is slapping 15 pip profit targets on every trade, and is a total loser, because as long as it's keeping your account offset and not mixing up the buys and sells the way he's doing with his own trades, my account will never go into profitability, ever. It's not ever going to match his trades. So what I'm saying is, I don't want you guys getting scammed. So I'm calling BS on this guy, and I would really like to hear from anybody else who has purchased this EA. He told me in our communications that he's only going to sell 200, and I said, well, how many have you sold so far, before I bought it? And he said 187. Okay, so theoretically there's 187 other people out there who have bought this EA from him. Now, he also markets it a second time on YouTube. It's the same live feed, but it's a little bit different write-up. It's same information, just written up differently. Same contact information, but for whatever reason, he has it on YouTube two places, 2 times. Okay, which it's the same thing though. The all of the trades are the same. The EA's the same. The balances are the same, and stuff like that. So anyway, the only difference that I can find, really, with the exception of a few words are the color of this little logo right here. This one is orange and this one is blue. Okay, it's really the only difference that I can find in these two live feeds. Other than that, they're the same. Okay, but the thing is, what I want you to do, if you have purchased this EA and you're getting matching results as to what he's getting, I would like for you to let me know. If you bought it and you're getting more of the results like I've gotten, or if you're, when you go to your properties window on your chart and you look at your properties window, I would like to know if your expert advisor properties window looks like mine, because I don't believe for 1 second that these properties could ever produce the trades that he's getting in his account. It's simply not possible, because it's just not. Okay, so either way, whether you have bought this from him, I would like to hear from you. So send me an email. You know, if you are getting results that match his results, send me a screenshot, because I have begged this guy for a week and a day now to help me with his EA. Maybe I have it set up wrong. Maybe he accidentally sent me the wrong EA. But the thing is, he has refused to communicate with me. I've left him message after message after message since a week ago Friday. About an hour after I bought the EA, I knew that it was not the EA that he was using. Okay? And he has refused to communicate with me since I paid him for the EA. That's the last time he's communicated with me on Skype or email, because not only have I been Skyping him, I've also been emailing him, and he has given me absolutely no communication back since he got my money. Okay? So, and I know he's getting my messages, because like this little black dot right here, that means that theoretically he has seen all of the messages down to this point. Okay? In fact, I'll just try to call him again right now. I'm going to view his profile. It says that he was last seen 20 hours ago, which is about right, because it was about almost 24 hours ago the last time I saw him come online. But a lot of times if I do a Skype call to him, okay, so there you go. Now, the thing is, Skype wouldn't have put that call through if he hadn't been online at the time. Okay, so now what we should see here is that, yeah, now it shows that he was last seen 3 hours ago. Okay, but the thing is, if his computer was if his Skype was completely off, the Skype wouldn't have gone into that trying to ring. It just would have turned off really quickly. Okay, and so anyway, he's absolutely refusing to communicate with me once he got my money. He hasn't tried to give me any help. I've said, do I have it set up wrong? I've said, ask him if he mistakenly sent me the wrong EA, you know, or whatever. But absolutely nothing from this guy. So if you have had an experience with him, good or bad, I'd like to hear about it, because it's like I told the guy a couple of days ago. I started getting pretty frustrated that he wouldn't contact me and help me, since he said he had 24-hour support, which obviously isn't true, because he's made no attempt to support me in this at all to get it working correctly. And I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to say, if you accidentally sent me the wrong EA, that's okay. Just send me the right one. I'm also willing to say, maybe there's something about the installation instructions that I did wrong. I'm willing to do that. Help me fix it. Help me get it right. Right? So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. But it's getting more and more likely every day that he refuses to communicate with me that that's not the case. That he definitely sent me what he intended to send me, which is a scam, because it's nothing like the EA that he is using. Okay? So anyway, here's my email address. Here's how you can contact me. Good or bad, if you've dealt with this guy and you're getting the results he's showing, send me screenshots. Tell me your good experience with him. If, on the other hand, your experience has been like mine, tell me that too. Let's try to shed some light on people who are knowingly trying to scam Forex traders. Okay, so I appreciate your help. And thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again soon in another video. And I'll let you know if he comes back and resolves this for me. Okay, I'll let you know that too. I would love for him to do that, because I would like to use his EA. Plain and simple. I would love to use it if it can produce like this for me. So anyway, there you have it. That's my video for today. Talk to you again soon. Bye for now.